Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 14 of the Almost Essential podcast. My co-host with me, of course, as always, is Uppatry Zelda. And we have two guests joining us this week. We have Nathanius, just back from Sweden. And we also have Fear Dragon Parikh. How you doing, guys?
I'm doing good. As, you know, Fear Dragon Parikh. First name Fear Dragon.
Fear Dragon. You should name. You should.
In my head, I tried to say
name to that.
In my head, I said Ravi, and then they didn't say it out loud. And I'm like, now it sounds just weird because it didn't say Ravi Fear Dragon Parikh. It was like, shit, oh well.
Well, why doesn't, Fear Dragon just sounds like it needs to have numbers after it. It can't just be the word
Fear Dragon 64. Lowercase f, guys.
Okay.
Middle name
that
64.
That sounds a little better now. I feel like I'm getting it.
Nice. So, do we want to talk about Maynard's thing? Do we have a solution for Maynard's Doom problem?
Oh, God, no.
Let me. We'll talk about it when we can have everybody back
After it's actually fixed.
When it's actually 100% solved, because
there's an ongoing saga.
Maynard is like,
who needs murder podcasts? It could be a tech support murder podcast. Okay, just trying to figure out some obscure computer issue going on a week by week basis.
We dial in Maynard and we just take suggestions from Twitch chat of like, what do you guys think Maynard should try? I like that.
So let's start with since this is a streaming and tech show podcast, let's start with the Apple news, and then we'll go to OBS, and then maybe dip to Windows 11 if we have some time.
I remember.
So let's start with Apple. Apple put out a news press announcement, whatever the fuck it's called. And they're like, hey guys, you can repair your phones now yourself, coming soon. But it's only like screens and batteries for phones, and they say more just later. So you can't actually repair any laptops or tablets or anything like that. And the parts, it appears like they're coming directly from Apple themselves in order to be actually repairable. On this front, it looks like this kind of is not very helpful for fixing your own shit if you're trying to pull an old screen off an old phone and put it with that. I don't know how much they're going to help with tools or diagnostics or layout. What do you guys think about this? How much have you heard? Go. Let's start with Nathanius. Go. Nothing?
Okay. So to the best of my knowledge, based on reading this, their solution is that they're partnering to provide these tools for a lot of their authorized service providers and some independent repair people, which I think is something that has like the obvious impact, so they can get authentic parts sourced better. Because I know that a big part of this whole issue with people going through third-party services or non-Apple authorized is they get like a screen that's not serialized for their phone or doesn't get authorized, and then they lose stuff like the Face ID. But the other big thing is you can order the part that you need and the tools to replace said part to your home, if I'm reading it correctly.
Yeah. You want to help with end user servicing. Like, you can fix it yourself.
If you want to do that by yourself, you can, and I think they take a deposit on the tools themselves in case you steal them or whatever, which I think for a nerd, it kind of sounds nice with the idea of like doing it to replace your battery or whatever if you're not in warranty for that. But I guess it would only be if you really didn't live anywhere remotely close to an Apple store, right?
I was really confused by this also because I feel like I might be misremembering or something, but didn't Apple lose or like settle a court case around self-repair recently? That's why I was confused when I read this.
I did hear about the hearing that Louis Rossmann has been testifying for.
Yeah.
Is that the one we're referring to?
I think so. I think that's the one.
Okay.
I just remember hearing something about like Apple either losing or settling a court case around like the right for self-repair and stuff. So I was surprised when I was like, oh, they're still just kind of starting to allow some stuff. Like, okay.
Yeah, so the Jeremy in chat says, I think it's to fuck the third-party repair people in the right to repair battle, this is what Louis Rossmann believes, and I think what most independent repair people believe, which is that they're trying to essentially be like, yeah, look, we, authorized repair people can fix it. You can fix it if you want to order it yourself and fix it, but they still won't let third-party repair shops order the parts from them wholesale, which means that they can't actually repair it themselves for you, right? like, and this is kind of they tried to create a program before, and basically what they were saying then was that you could be an authorized repair guy, but you had to, in order to repair it, a device had to be brought in and you had to place the order, and then they would send you the thing that you needed, and that might take like a week, where the person like wants to get their screen fixed today. You're not allowed to carry any screens at all, period, like on hand, which is what these people have, which is what the independent repair people have a problem with, is that they can't just stock up on the most common parts that usually need to be replaced, right? So this feels kind of like a middle finger to the independent repair industry. It's like, but also kind of like, we respect the desire to fix your own crap, but we don't want the third party people to do it because we don't think that they can do a good job. Like, it's a pretty underhanded but clever move, I think, from Apple.
Here's my question. Yeah. Is the impression that they would go after somebody who would say, like, you live in a rural town where there's no Apple store, and you're like, hey, if you need help setting this up, you can have it ordered, and then I can still do the repair part because people are self-conscious or nervous about doing their own repair? Like, I'm trying to see, like, is there a way around that? Is that something that we assume would just be...
Oh, do you mean like if you ordered the parts to yourself and then brought it into an authorized repair shop?
Like you have no idea. Yeah, exactly. If you ordered the parts yourself and brought them into a third-party place.
Nothing would stop that. I mean, they can't even do anything because even Lewis has brought up multiple times that he has like Apple contraband. Like, he has like chips that they don't want him to have. Like,
Lewis Rossman has had several shipments of tens of thousands of dollars that are sent over from China, and they're made in the original factories that the OEM screens and batteries are made in, and they get sent over here, and Apple's like, we flag them at customs, and they seize it, and then the government and Apple walk away with it. He's left without his money, and so like he's trying to keep getting ways to get parts, but he's not like publicly saying anymore because people are literally after the guy, trying to stop him any way they can.
Yeah.
This feels like a very much organized effort to shut down a lot of that type of thing and silence Rossman. It also, I feel like there's a policy implementation being pushed for here where it's like they're trying to get ahead of the law of right to repair, and they feel like they're going to lose that legal battle. So it's like, hey,
they know it's working.
Yeah. People want their shit fixed.
Yeah, and they want to be able to. There's a huge push right now towards ownership. I think there's a lot of people are uncomfortable with the amount of. Not everybody, but a lot of people are uncomfortable with the idea that they don't own anything anymore. And it's becoming very apparent. Like, it's beginning to become too much of, like, everything as a service. Like, before it was like, Spotify is a service. Okay. Netflix is a service. Okay. But now your phone is a service. It's like half of the shit that I want from my phone is, like, locked behind a paywall. Like, everything, it's becoming a bit too, like, in your face that very little that you have is owned. And now it's being reflected in people's desire to change that, or at least hold on to some semblance of that. And I think they know that, so now they're trying to appease that crowd without actually losing the right to repair battle. But they're going to lose, and they know. I think, anyway.
I believe so as well. It might take longer than we think, especially every time government gets involved. Shit just slows down to a crawl. But
yeah.
People are jumping on more and more things like the Frameworks laptop. They're jumping on Android phones. Like every time an Android phone comes out that you can repair the battery, like swap the battery, hot swap, and you talk to anybody about that, and they're like, I love that feature. I'd buy that phone. If I didn't already have a phone, I'd buy a feature phone that I can take the battery in out. Like, people want this. It's not like the demand isn't there.
How much of that is like the diehards, though, right? It's not necessarily like the average consumer that is caring about a lot of that. I think they care about it at a theoretical level, but not in practice.
I think the Frameworks laptop is a very good example of what people actually want, which is that prior to now, I mean, like, let's say 2016-ish, let's say 2016 to 20... is that fair? 2015 to about 2019. if you bought like a slimmer, fancier device, like the way that it became slimmer and fancier was that they made a lot of these compromises on design to do, like, they glue stuff instead of screw stuff, like in order to shrink the package. Like they had all of these things. So basically, to buy a repairable thing, and to buy a thing you could upgrade, to buy a thing you could modify, you made compromise, right? But the Frameworks laptop, in its like idea, was that you don't have to make that compromise anymore. Like tech on average has gotten small enough and slim enough and good looking enough, and these parts are easily sourced enough that you can have like a very good trackpad, a very good touch ID sensor, a very good screen, a very good everything, and also be able to unscrew it all and put it back together yourself. So like, you know, you could give this laptop to anybody and they'd be like, oh, this is a good looking machine. Like there's no obvious trade-offs right like on the face of it. Doesn't look bad. You know, it's not, you know, shit. But it also means it also has this feature where you could, you know, if anything breaks, you can replace it, which is what I think people actually want. People want something that looks good, that they can, you know, flex with their friends or whatever. Like you know, they want the status symbol, just like Apple's been for a long time. They want these things, but it'd be nice if a feature of that was that it was also fixable and they could upgrade it. But it's not actually the main selling point for most people, I think. For most people, I think the main selling point is the product as a whole. And, you know, repairability is just a checkbox.
Coming at a really good price point as well.
Yeah.
And even if they're not repairing it themselves, everybody's got that nephew, that guy, the brother, the you know, their tech guy that they can take their laptop to and be like, upgrade this, replace the battery. I want more space on my hard drive. You know, having something that you can actually take to your tech guy and fix is something that people are definitely interested in. As far as my experience has shown so far.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way of putting it, right? Like, they want things that they can basically say, like, I'm going to take this to someone and they will be able to fix it.
Yes.
I think the upgrade thing loses me a bit on terms of, like, average consumer, because I think average consumer just thinks, like, I give this to someone and they'll give me back something better or something along those lines. Like, I don't think the average consumer is going to be thinking as much like, yes, I will take this to my, like, upgrade person and tell them that I want a larger hard drive or something. I think they're like, that's like a lot more granular than most people think.
Usually they take it in when something's broken or it doesn't work. Battery isn't charging.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, the average consumer doesn't even know what the idea of, like, hey, so my computer's like 4 years old now and the motherboard in it is the same size and shape as the old one, so I'm just going to, like, throw in a 13th gen Intel, like, CPU. Right? Like, that's just...
Oh,
like,
that's too... they won't even make it that far. They say things like, well, my computer just died one day. You know, it just gave up. That's
what I'm saying. Like, they don't know.
Ambiguous dead computer.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It worked fine yesterday, and now it's not.
And I didn't do anything to change.
Broken? Did your fan just give out because you never dusted it and it just won't power on because it's TJ Maxx in half a second? Like, what actually happened here?
Yeah.
I've known some people that run laptops on beds, like the bed has a soft covering or whatever, and it sucks all the dust and lint right up into the fan, and it's a mess to take apart and clean, but like that's why they're overheating. Okay, we got anything else on that? Or do we want to move on?
Not really. We'll see how it plays out. I'm very curious. My computer died. I'm all day.
And when I hear those words, I'm just.
There's one next to the coffee maker, if that's what you're talking about. Okay, let's talk about OBS. So Lightstream.
Slobs?
Yes. So I could probably pull up a screenshot from a year or so or more ago where Sal and I ranted for like wait, one of you two were there. Maybe both of you were there.
It might have been. Jason might have been there too.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I know Rob.
I feel like I've been a part of a conversation where we've all privately dunked on them at some point.
I remember one of the shows that I was on. We talked about OBS versus Slobs versus XSplit.
Yes,
You brought me on.
That's the one.
We were all on that one.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So this is the exact same. I didn't even realize that. This is the exact same crew we had, and we ranted about how buggy and terrible this is. And every time StreamLabs makes changes to this piece of code, they make it worse, and the software slowly becomes bloated. And when you tell people the letters OBS, they have this picture in their mind of StreamLabs' version of it, which is very, very shit. It's not at all the same thing as real standard OBS. And we have a long record of talking about this, basically, is my point. So, as of recently, as in November 16th at about noon, this tweet came out from Lightstream. Hey, can I copy your homework? Yeah, just change it up a bit so it's not obvious you copied. Bet. And then we've got this graphic. I'm reading some of the words out loud, even though you guys can see them because we do have audio-only listeners.
Oh my god, yeah. So was this the first tweet? And then Obs did it, and Obs was second?
I believe this was the original tweet that started this.
Yeah.
Yes. And then, before we get to Obs, before we get to OBS responding, this is out of order slightly, but it's funny, so I'm doing it for the sake of this. When you have fucking Edward Snowden in 2021 tweeting about Streamlabs, you know you done fucked up. This is like...
So many people that follow him for all the other random stuff are just like, wow.
Why is this?
Live streaming app bad? What is this?
Bro.
I can only imagine it's like Edward Snowden encounters this and is just like open source being shit on, not on my watch. I don't know. He seems like someone who'd be very into open source projects.
You bet.
That makes sense.
Man,
that makes sense.
Imagine being Obs. Like, how patient must you be to sit on the idea, just sit on it, that Slobs is trying to steal your fucking name and copyright it.
Okay.
If they waited for someone else to come out first, Jesus. I can't believe they didn't even change the words.
Like,
what do you mean?
Lightstream, okay, I don't know as much about Lightstream, but my understanding is that they are also, in a sense, a competitor. Like, they're another streaming application. So
this...
I love that they just took a competitor out, basically.
They literally just sabotaged them, like Assassin style, right?
Anybody who has used Streamlabs long enough, okay, in any capacity, since the days of Twitch Alerts, okay? So Twitch Alerts, if you guys remember, was a novel, good idea. Every single thing they've done since that has been shit, okay? Like, and in every capacity that I've ever come across. The only exception being their merch. Their merch, which I'm literally sure that they just sourced from some random print company. They picked a good one, okay? Their merch is good. And I really hope that they manage to salvage this so I don't have to switch merch companies, because fuck Redbubble, okay? I really don't want to have to try and find another good one.
Does anyone know which merch company they do?
They sourced from?
We'll figure this out. Yeah,
I'd love...
Stream Elements does that from somebody else. I do not believe they have the same company, and I actually kind of wonder what the quality of Stream Elements merch is, because
I might start shopping around. But honestly, like that's neither here nor there. The tip, if you use their tips or whatever as well, like they don't take a cut. I don't think so. They don't really get anything.
Right. So
they
anyway,
don't really get anything wrong either way.
OBS tweeted the OBS project official Twitter account. Tweeted, near the launch of Streamlabs OBS, Streamlabs reached out to us about using the OBS name. We kindly asked them not to. They did so anyway and followed it up by filing a trademark. We've tried to sort this out in private, and they have been very uncooperative at every turn. We are often faced with confused users and even companies who do not understand the difference between the two apps. Support volunteers are sometimes met with angry users demanding refunds. We've had interactions with several companies and who did not realize our apps were separate. Legally, they have obeyed the terms of the GPL, but they have repeatedly disregarded the spirit of open source and giving back. I think that's one of the hooks that got Snowden to tweet about this. Despite these actions by Streamlabs, the OBS project will continue to provide free open software and tools for everybody. We will continue to support our users, the community, and our amazing developers for their hard work. And this fucking blew up on Twitter. And
no kidding, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, not a surprise. I mean, I knew that company was like ultra turbo disorganized when I used their API, and it was like, I was like, dude, I code for fun, and this is bad. I know this is bad. Okay, so for like rough example, so if you call a test alert, the name and like what some of the attributes like that you for like value and who sent it and the ID and stuff. The name of those things in the test alerts are different from real alerts. So if you like use a test alert to code your app to work with alerts, it won't work with real alerts because they're all fucking differently named. Like, what? Like, I have this kind of shit. I knew when I realized that they were like branching out in like a million different directions. And none of them were getting finished. I knew that they were like,
I forget who it was a collaboration with, but I went to TwitchCon San Diego and I talked to the developers, a couple of the developers that were there from the OBS project, and they were like showing off the feature at the time they were showing off was like the variable bitrate thing that's auto built into OBS now. That if your connection suddenly has a downward, like somebody starts downloading a torrent or something on your network, and you just take a massive hit, this was the time that was released, and they were showing it. It'll take your bit rate and like throttle it down to fit in whatever pipe it could fit out to continue people, so the stream wouldn't completely F and die. So this was at the time that I talked with them, and at this like a booth that was about like 4 booths over to the right and a little bit closer to the front doors, there was the StreamLabs booth, and they had all of this stuff and advertising it. And like going ham with it. I think they were trying to make a collaboration with Logitech, I think at the time. I don't remember if that ended up working out or they fell through or something along those lines. Don't quote me on that. But when I talked to the developers there, I was like, why are they over there this close to you? Like I would expect to see you guys completely opposite ends or like right next to each other. And they're like, we actually kind of wanted to make sure we had space and moved away from them, I think was what the guy was saying, because he was being very tactful. Like you could read between the lines, like he didn't like it at the time. And I didn't know all the details about what this behind it, but like it makes more sense now. I hate StreamLabs.
What?
Yes.
What was
Very
like the
sloppy,
business
slobs? It fits.
benefit? What's like the business benefit of StreamLabs running slobs? Because they gradually just fall further behind in feature parity.
You Google OBS and slobs comes up. That's the benefit.
Isn't this the thing where they did Google search AdWords to, if you like, didn't they do this on purpose?
Yeah, of course they did.
Oh yeah, that is using search engine optimization to steal their name.
Yeah, they just hijacked the name of the most popular broadcast software, and then they were like, and that's what they did. Of course, why wouldn't they? They could have named it anything else. They named it that so that when you Googled OBS, slobs came up, and of course, in their description is probably like broadcasting software with free overlays and alerts. Like it's just
Yeah, they got a lot of people. Every time I have to go help a streamer and they have that, I just groan inwardly and inside. And I try to help them. I try to fix it. But every time I can have somebody that's like restarting over or everything, I do pitch it pretty hard to go to the normal version. And if they're like, hey, but I want some of those features or whatever, use plugins. Okay. The reason we're not harping on Stream Elements is because their version of OBS actually updates. It's like pretty much the same thing, like 24 hours maybe behind the updates of rollouts. But Stream Elements integration into OBS is basically just a plugin that adds chat and like a go live button, and you can change like the title of your stream inside of OBS with the plugin or whatever. So it's not that major. Whereas StreamLabs version of this, for people who don't know, reskins everything. It's terrible.
And then you misclick somewhere and you're signed up for the $5.99 payment for the rest of your life.
That was some scummy shit. You remember that, Nate? The StreamLabs Pro?
That's still a thing.
Yeah,
you go to donate to anybody that has it, and they'll be like, "Oh, add an animated effect for Prime only," And then you just click, you like, oh, that looks cute. Do I have that? And then it doesn't confirm. It's just like, oh, thanks for signing up. Thanks for your donation to the streamer. Go back to watch and have fun.
It's not a one-time thing. Now you're hooked. Haha.
And it was like you had to. Oh fuck! What was it, man? You had to. Yeah, if you go into settings to turn that off, it has a button that says "Don't support Streamlabs" with like a sad face.
It's
like
so...
to turn off the it was a monthly subscription you sign up for. I was like, you guys are fucking douchebags. Holy shit!
It's almost like there's a VPN or something that did that, right? Like, oh, you're not using Tunnel Bear anymore. So sad. You made the bear sad. And it's a pouty face on this cute bear and stuff. Like, it feels a little scummy, but whatever.
It's a classic.
I don't have a problem with that so much as bastardizing what a clean OBS layout should look like. Yeah, I don't know. That's the end of my rant about it. Oh, well, let me show the actual, thing. So anyway, November 17th, 10:52 p.m. a.m. Sloppy Labs.
We did it, Reddit.
We are taking immediate action to remove OBS from our name. StreamLabs OBS is built on top of the OBS open source platform, although we fucked it up royally. Oh, no, that's not a quote tweet. StreamLabs OBS is also open source and our code is publicly available. Although if you go take a look at it, it looks like a fucking disaster. Like Sal was saying, it's a mess in there. We also take responsibility for our actions and will support the community. What? You fucked up the community. You've ruined so many people's... You know how if you start using software in college and they're like, hey, here's Adobe. Learn Adobe. Now when you're go in the world, the students all know how to use Adobe. I feel like they're handicapped because this is like the version that they're used to, that they know of. They don't want to change because everything's in there already. Like, do you guys got anything? Is it just me?
I mean, as far as yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I've only got so much to say about it because honestly, even with like this with the Streamlabs and stuff too, like I actually haven't had problems. I feel like I'm like one of those people who just kind of like avoided it, but yeah.
I mean, I haven't had any problems with their core features, like their the stream labels, the thing that like the little app that like has your alerts and stuff like that, and it stores in a text file. Never had a problem with that.
Same.
Never had a problem with their actual alert system, but they haven't updated it in ages. It's like been the same thing for a long time. I've never had a problem with their payment system either, really, aside from the monthly subscription thing. But it's just really clear that, I don't know, I feel like they're taking on, like, they have so many features that just never, ever, ever get finished. Like, and then this is just another thing. So, like, they're already, like, kind of fragmented in their website, and now they, like, also are working on a fork of OBS. So, like, it's buggy as shit. Like, it does weird stuff all the time, like crazy CPU usage and like completely different interface, and they've got like a couple new features, but like I don't know, it's just not
features aren't worth switching for, especially now they have Control Z in normal OBS, which is like the one feature that like people are asking for a long time. But
I never really got why they felt the need to stretch themselves so thin, when I feel like a lot of the ways that they stretch themselves, I'm like, I don't think this actually is going to give you much traffic, but you're just like stretching yourself thin. As a side note, I was quiet because I muted myself so I could retype their entire tweet, their like entire text into a character counter. Why do companies keep doing this stupid black background white text thing? This was 264 characters. You could fit that in a tweet. Like, I don't know. Sorry.
It's not as cool. It's all. It's like the thing.
My guess is that they probably don't want anyone to find it later. Right? You can't.
You won't be able to search
control
for
F an image. You can't search an image.
You can't control F an image. That is true.
I think it also has to do something with the way the algorithm and all that stuff works. It's probably easier to get traction posting an image that looks like that than it is to write the tweet out
Images
itself.
Tweets do better. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
As long as you don't link
You gotta-
off site.
You gotta think about those, those hits that you have on people's eyes and for your social media account when you're posting your public apology.
Fuck, man. Well, I mean, could be get the message out as quickly as possible, but then it kind of fizzles out because you can't really search it later. But I mean, yeah, I don't even know what they're gonna do. Like, what are they gonna change it to? Like, what are they going to change?
Changed the name.
StreamLabs broadcaster, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
They literally already changed the name, actually. I went
Is
to the
it
website.
StreamLabs Broadcaster now?
It's just StreamLabs.
Yeah, that makes sense, honestly, too.
That's actually but
It's actually
now
a good name.
What does it do?
Well,
I
hey,
guess.
I'm sure they made a lot of money on it before they finally got busted, and maybe
the whole
somebody will get a light slap on the wrist. Who knows?
I mean, the whole thing is just it was just to bring people into the ecosystem for overlays and shit, right? Like that's the entire premise of the service. It's literally just to farm people to force them to use it.
And I understand why it's just easier to just grab overlay that's already pre-built and has fancy animations and stuff like that from either Stream Elements or Streamlabs. I get why people do it.
I mean, especially I would only recommend, even before, I would only recommend Streamlabs to your very introductory streamer who just wants to get up and go and have pay $10, have a perfect overlay, and just be on their way, not have to worry about it at all.
I've never. This is a side note. I've never understood why there isn't just a really simple extension that someone's made to OBS that maybe even could be built into OBS. That's just hook into the Twitch API locally. You don't actually need an external third-party service to do any of this stuff and display an alert.
I guess the only thing I can possibly imagine is that having worked, especially with a couple of companies that have done some of these influencer type things with professional athletes, the bar could not. You can't understate how low the bar is. I think for some people with tech, you just can't. There is no limit to how low the bar can be. So for some people, I imagine it was a lifesaver that they downloaded this incorrect apps just because they could put $20 into it and have an overlay and have their alerts and not have to think about anything that they did.
That's true.
Am I going to say that that's the way that things should be done? No. But I also don't think that you should go buy the random 3 times overpriced Hewlett-Packard pre-built at Best Buy it's not even the best one they have there. You just bought it because you're I just needed a computer. I don't really care what's in it. I didn't look at the specifications because all of that's Greek to me. And I'm that's who it's for.
Next to the RAM and hard drive space. Haha.
My old computer died, so I bought a new one.
Let me out! Let me out!
It hurts.
God damn it, pre-built, man.
So, next up...
Wait, hold on. Nate, have you seen
Shoot.
Gamers Nexus's, teardowns of pre-built and shit?
I've watched a few of them, yeah.
Oh my
Walmart?
God, it's so fucking funny. Listening to him rip apart Dell is just the fucking... He's just so angry.
It's so such fun content.
He's so mad.
We could do. I don't know.
One motherboard shaped like an L.
Is that our angle to fame? Do we just make React content about pre-built teardowns? I feel like that makes some good horror content. I'm tilted. I'm sorry. Ruffy got me. Then he walked away. He got me with the microphone.
Classic Ravi. Classic Ravi.
Someone left something on my door. I have to go get it. It's just been sitting in the hallway for a while. Yeah.
So next up we have Nintendo's announcement with Panda Global. Smash Brothers. Is this something that's of interest to you guys? How much you want to talk about this? Because we still got Windows 11 and...
I don't believe it's real until there's hard dates and somebody trustworthy says they have a contract. because this to me just still sounds like everything I've ever heard behind the scenes that never was able to be announced, but it's obviously announced, so it's the most real that we've gotten. But I still feel like there's some opportunity for this to just not happen. I don't know why. I'm still terrified at the thought of it, but I don't actually believe it's real.
I mean, it's also
is it both Smash Bros. Too?
I think so.
Yeah, I think both.
Melee and Ultimate.
Melee and the newer one. But like, the thing is, Nintendo has thrown tournaments and like been like, this is our new big thing, and we're gonna like do more of these, and they'll run the like one event, and then like literally everything just disappears. Like,
You can't trust Nintendo. You can't.
Yeah.
You absolutely
What do you,
can't.
what do you
with
mean,
this.
Nate? They have a long, reliable history of loving and supporting this. I can't.
They have one reliable thing: the games are good. That's it. Everything else,
I can see it. I can see it. March 2022. So we know everybody's really excited to hear about our partnership with Panda Global. We'll have more information with you by midsummer, and then like probably August 30th, they'll be like, so we've run into some difficulties with establishing our league, and we'll let you guys know. We'll have more information this holiday season, and then maybe something happens in 2023. It's kind of how I see it coming, and eventually
You can pre-buy it on December 24th, and it'll be released the next year sometime.
You know what? Well, it won't even have that. It'll have the placeholder release date of like 2099
you know what?
or some shit.
I would be more okay with that. But what's gonna happen is if they go down this route, it will just be like silence. It will literally just be like a year and a half passes, and people are like, wait.
Didn't they announce
Nintendo announce something? Like, wait, what happened with that? And it's just going to be super quiet. And then they're going to do like a really small random event. And people are going to be, oh shit, this was a thing. I totally forgot. Oh my God, it's so awesome. It's happening. And then it's just like, it's over. And then they're just never going to
we did the thing. See? Haha.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, see, we kept our promise. Anyways, back to business.
Back to not helping at all.
Yeah, or it's going to be some horrible compromise that nobody, like, everybody's like, oh yeah, that's going to be both of the games. But what does it actually mean as far as what they'd be allowed to do prize pool wise? Is they going to announce that there's this big cash prize for Ultimate, but Melee is still going to be the best thing you can win as like a backpack, or the reverse? Or maybe that's just it. Maybe the whole entire league is just backpacks and paying appearance fees to people, and there's never actually like real cash on the line, and it's just a whole giant thing for Nintendo to continue to, whatever inappropriate word you want to use for torture their fan base.
I will do you one better, Nate. They will have this circuit for backpacks. They will schedule one of the broadcast dates over Evo and say, well, we're doing Super Smash Brothers, so Evo, you can't do Super Smash Brothers. I'm calling it right now, all right?
Don't make sure nobody make sure no one from the Smash space finds this, okay? Because I'm not ready I'm not ready for us to have to respond to that. Don't you put that evil on me,
There's so much hate. Let's go.
God damn, that would be good. That would be the way to shut down Evo. There you go.
They've been trying to figure it out.
I'm telling you, I'm calling it right now.
I hate to think about how right you might be.
You could watch these guys play for a backpack instead.
Wait, oh my God, then Evo does the next best thing where it can't be like on the broadcast, but they're literally just like, all right, this event that Nintendo's running is our Evo. We're just going to pay out the prizes to whoever wins.
Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be a great response.
That'd be a really funny meme.
I love
a very
that.
expensive meme.
Wow.
Yeah. That'd be very spiteful.
But I don't put it past Nintendo. So.
For some reason, I'm surprised I haven't heard about something like that happening already.
I mean, you still lose out in the fact that you just aren't getting
still
to
a lot of money,
broadcast
but
the event.
I don't know. It was some guy that has 500 bitcoins from 10 years ago that forgot about him would be like, I could give Nintendo the middle finger. I just gotta pay all the people that won their fake backpack tournament real money based on their placement. And some guy in like some guy in a suit in Japan that's like, I don't like online multiplayer being in our games, is gonna be like, this is the most offensive thing I've ever seen. Smash no longer exists. Shut it down. Just shut it down completely. It never exists anymore.
Said to me.
You can't take
Delete
the
it from the
disrespect.
internet. All your switches, they actually stop working. Let's just
There you go.
disconnect.
We're all going to go
Yeah.
play that new
Alternative
Smash game
They
instead.
just refund everybody that bought it. They're like, no, this game's gone. F you.
Did you guys see the like Smash style game that got announced? That's supposed to be like
The one that has voice acting.
it has a proper voice actors, and it's basically the way I'm looking at it is instead of the video game characters from like Nintendo franchises and stuff, it's like TV show characters from Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, basically. It has like what's his name? The well-known voice actor for like a Batman, and they have like Superman, and like they have I think they have like Arya Stark and like random people.
I had not heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks tentatively interesting.
If you watched or if you've seen the memes that came from Space Jam, I mean, it's a Warner Brothers property flex, except, you know, they actually have what did they say? Kevin Conroy doing the voice for the Batman that you're going to be able to play as in that game, and like Maisie Williams doing Arya. So there you go. It's the high budget Nickelodeon game.
I will link it to you. It's called Multiverses.
That sounds familiar. Maybe that was.
But I can only link you the YouTube trailer because I don't have another link.
Oh, let me see this.
Don't worry, they've confirmed in the flavor text that Shaggy is
God.
powerful.
Oh yeah, Shaggy can go Super Saiyan. They have a screen. They have like a.
Oh my
shot of a
god!
character
Everybody's
like
making a Smash clone. What the hell?
they have Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny. They have Batman. They have Superman. They have the dog from Adventure Time as well as the kid. They have Shaggy. They have Wonder Woman. They have. Oh my god, I'm blanking on her name. The Joker's hookup.
Harley Quinn.
Harley
Quinn. Oh my god, yes, thank you. And they have Arya Stark and I think two other characters I just don't recognize.
Actually, I'll go back. Wait, what was this? There we go.
You put skins in this game, boom. You'll be printing a stupid amount of money if it's properly supported. Everything that I heard about, I don't know. I think there's an audience for this in the Fortnite crowd, especially with the
100%.
the brand access. It could end up really popular. They might actually force Nintendo to run a tournament that pays like more than a backpack. Like maybe you get like a keyboard too, even though it's not a PC game.
No, the prize should be a Blue Yeti.
You get a controller. You can win a backpack and a pro controller. Boom. Not nunchucks. No, those are too expensive. We can't give out Joy-Cons.
Joy-Cons are too costly.
Next up, we have. I don't know how much of interest this is to you guys, or you have much to say on it. But TikTok agreed to pay $92 billion in data breach settlement. They are, according to NBC, of course, they are no longer recording users' facial features and stop tracking user location with GPS,
I'm sure they did.
and no longer disclosing users' personal data to parties like Google and Facebook with gesture. We'll believe them, right, guys?
My favorite part is that they also say they're going to do all of that, but also they're like, but we weren't at fault. But we understand why some people might be
Look,
upset.
guys, I know that this cost us like a small fraction of a number that we honestly don't get paid enough to even write out in text for you, but we are not sorry because we didn't actually do anything wrong. Here's $92 million. Shut up. Go away.
The time it takes to write out the zeros is more time than it's worth.
Exactly.
Just pay the fee. It goes away. $250 billion or million? What is it? ByteDance is worth $250
and
billion, I think.
I'm sure that, you know, if it comes out that they didn't actually undo all of this, that, you know, oh man, it would really suck if in another couple of years they got fined $90 million again. Like,
this is the Facebook
whoops.
strat, isn't it? Just like make tons of money and just pay all the fees and just continue to do whatever the fuck you're doing.
But everybody
anyway.
does. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Great. Okay. I hate that I might have to make a TikTok. I think I'm going to go get like a burner phone and just like it has one app on it. It's just Wi-Fi. And then like that's where I post social media updates from like the Pylon show and stuff like that. Where it's like
there you go.
In location, like lock
make
it
a
down.
sandboxed Android device and a VM.
Yep.
Yeah, why don't you just get an emulator?
Go 2 layers deep. You don't even need the phone. You just
can you post from the web client?
Well, I mean, you probably need to route it or something, but no. Just emulate the app.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Emulate the app, and also you can use basically like a HTTP interceptor to intercept any requests Figure out
Yeah.
which ones would be sending your data that you
But
don't want.
if you have like
and
a
shut those
fancy
down.
VM software, you can. I'm pretty sure you could just specify server for your VPN for all of the traffic for it to go through anyway.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. You
Easy
could be,
peasy.
or you can just be a random dog in France that likes to watch videos, and you get French advertisements or something. Enjoy.
Let's see. We do have a long-awaited topic, but I am very busy this week. We have in a couple hours. Actually, it's about 8 hours, I think, from now. We're doing Pylon Show. It starts at like I get up at 1:30 a.m., 2 a.m., something like that, and then we're doing Pylon Show on AOE 4 with let's see, what was the roster we have? Artosis is hosting it. We've got Loco, Vibe, yours truly, Up a Tree Zelda, and Beastie QT, and that's going to be at 3 broadcast live at 3 a.m. Pacific time, 6 a.m. Eastern, noon European, and 8 p.m. Korean time. The reason I bring that up is because we have been talking about Ethernet. XLR over Ethernet, and we are finally going to test this, but I just haven't had time to do so. But we have this wonderful box, which has. I want to get some microphones and test this, but I opened it, but I haven't plugged this in yet. So the meme is real, guys. But we were gonna. I don't know. We don't have any data on it yet. But here's what they look like.
Wait. Okay, so the questions that you have to answer, you have to remember this, is how in the hell do you resplit the Ethernet like message? Because they're all going into one Ethernet cable, and then they're coming out somehow.
It's
So
just
you
an
need to
RJ45. So I think it's there's 8 wires in an RJ45, and so they just use 2, 4, 6, 8, right?
Oh, interesting.
The camera won't focus on it. There you
Oh,
go.
because your thing came as a pair, right? You didn't just order
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yes, they came as a pair.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know.
Technology.
I still
Are we
want you to
testing it now?
What's that?
Are we testing it now?
No, we don't have time. That's why I said the
Okay.
Pylon Show bit is like week is.
Oh,
been
I see. So
crazy.
you're going to be using it during that.
No,
That's
I'm
what
not
you're
going to use it during that. Fuck off. No, yeah.
Okay,
That's a
but
great idea.
I was sorry.
I was saying I have it. I'm just too busy to.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that would be
Saving
a
the
recipe
world.
for disaster. Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
just-
Sometimes it's fun to live on, right? Live on the edge a little.
please just
So-
connect it to your computer, like the Ethernet cable to your computer. I just want to know what it does.
No.
So this is actually something I thought about, and I pulled an Ethernet cord out to do this because my streaming PC and my gaming PC both have 2 Ethernet ports on the motherboards. So I'm going to take it and plug it into this other Ethernet port and see if I can actually like get data directly pulled from the cord, because then it's an awesome use case where you can like just run your cable, a single cable instead of 4 XLRs, nice long distance with Cat 6 or whatever. I think I got Cat 6 on hand, and then test it and see what happens. So I just need another XLR microphone, so I might just like go swing by and pick something up and test it, because the thing I want to know is there bleed over? Like, does it go? Can you have? If you hear channel 1 on channel 2, and like I want to like filter all that out and like give it I have so many questions. So soon, TM.
I'm interested to hear back on that. Let us let me know how that goes.
If you have any ideas for how we should test it, we'll
That sounds exciting.
work on that.
I'm really looking forward to the day that all of our cables here to our microphones up until like the very last bit is just an Ethernet cable
cord?
and there's a little converter at the end.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this.
I mean, we have the Ethernet to USB-C, so you can just plug a USB-C and daisy chain.
Oh boy, here we go.
And plug that into your phone. No, I'm serious. Like you could get audio to your USB-C phone, like, and then you could. Okay, I'm done.
We're gonna start charging our phones through Ethernet cables. Like, what can we send through an Ethernet cable?
Let's see. Sal has to go soon, so we're gonna probably wrap it up here
I
in a
think he
minute.
already left.
But he has to go for like real. He's
Okay.
got like an immortal thing at some point. I don't know when. We'll ask him when he gets back.
Can you hear me? We good?
Yes.
Yes.
We can. Can you hear
Look
us?
at this guy talking to us.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I need to make an Epic account and download this game before the thing. So
Okay. How long till we need to?
no, I'll just that you get to look at my chair, and
Okay.
I'll just chill.
We're fine then. Okay.
Okay.
Tell us as soon as you actually need to go, and then we'll.
12 minutes.
Yep. Okay. You guys got anything else for topics that you guys want to bring up besides Windows 11? Windows 11 can wait if you got something else that's more newsworthy.
I'm actually kind of excited to talk about Windows 11. I know.
Okay. Audio improvements.
It's
That's
out there.
the big one. That's the one I'm like, can't wait for. And I don't have it installed on a test machine yet. Is there anything I should be aware of? Or have any of you used it yet in like a production environment or just testing?
So
Oh.
I've been using Windows 11 on my primary machine for about, I guess a month now. Yeah, I guess it's been a month. Oh, I can't believe it's November 19th. Oh my God. But I found that at least audio-wise, 99% of everything is the same. And I was actually able to get back to a regular start menu pretty easily. So as far as the UI differences and all of that jazz, I don't know. I kind of got to set back up to normal quickly. But there are two things that I have been enjoying. The first of which is if you're not familiar with this feature, it's a feature of Windows 10. In Windows 11, it works a little bit better. But if you like type into start a sound mixer, you can set the specific individual input and output of every single application that is running on your computer. And Windows will try to remember what these applications are set to. It's under System, Sound, Volume Mixer. You can set your default output, your default input, and it's basically like it has like the features of like an old audio routing program or whatever, like Voice Meter. So if you want to have Firefox only go to a specific audio output, like you're using a Go XLR, this is like a life-saving level feature. It makes life super easy.
Doesn't that exist in Windows 10?
It does.
Yes, it is a Windows 10 feature. So in Windows 10, this feature for me worked for the most part perfectly. Obviously, things break when you plug in or unplug audio devices. That still happens in Windows 11. If I do VR, I have to redo everything about what's going where. But one specific application, a game that I've been playing on Twitch, League of Legends, has a client that goes into a game and kind of goes back and forth between the two. And this actually didn't really work with them. It would always reset the audio device for the client and the game, no matter what I did. In Windows 11, this just fixed. Like it actually remembered it, and it actually did not reset every time that I turned the application. Yeah, literally just it works. It's like all the other applications that I use because it's great because iTunes or I use an Electron web-based player for Apple Music because I don't want to use iTunes, right? And I'm a Windows user, but. Like even this, a little Electron app, I can have it set so it still goes only to the music's output for my Go XLR, which is awesome. Yeah, and that's my first big thing about Windows 11. I don't know if you guys were both saying you didn't have much experience with it.
Not yet.
I'm afraid to install it because I have a Linux subsystem on my machine, and I'm afraid it's just going to nuke it or something. I have too many software developer tools set up.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet, and I'm kind of worried too right now because I'm of the mindset where I don't know that I have the time to mess with it immediately because I have like PCs I need to two PCs I need to build and ship out, and I don't want to test it because that's going to delay those deadlines, and I don't want to actually put it on either of my dedicated work machines. This is a live production environment on a weekly basis, so it's like, when do I actually do it? So it'll be at some point on a test machine somehow.
I feel that.
It's something I really want to do. The question I have for you, Nate, is I'm one of the weird people, okay? I have a taskbar at the top of my screen. Can you move the default taskbar?
Can you move the default taskbar?
It starts at the bottom. Can you move to
it's on the top of my screen right now. I just moved it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's on the left. It's on the right. Yeah, you're good.
Awesome.
You're
good.
And again, you can have it centered to the left. You can have it centered to the left like a normal desktop bar. So as soon as I saw the little Mac OS looking thing, I was like, no. You can fix that really quickly. There's also Start is Back, which I paid like $10 for like 5 years ago and still own. So that's free.
What was it called again?
Start is Back.
Start is Back for anybody who's interested. Okay.
Yeah, or I think it's start all back on Windows 11 anyway. Yeah, start all back. Yeah, the other thing that I really like, and I know that we all, I think, play games. I don't know if any of you have an HDR monitor. Have you? Okay, so in Windows 10, HDR I think is terrible because you can set the operating system to run in HDR mode, which will give you your bright colors and raise your screen brightness to levels of the sun. But in a lot of games, when you try to use it, it'll like just kind of bork out. It's actually pretty common. My monitors had HDR since about midway through last year, and I actually didn't use any game with the HDR mode, even though, I mean, specifically HDR, like 400 versus 600 versus 1000 is its own whole can of worms, but just getting it on in the first place was such a pain in the butt. So Windows 11 has a feature called Auto HDR, which puts your monitor in HDR mode when you enable it, and your monitor just never leaves that mode. So I actually have it turned off in the game settings and just let this do it its own way because, first of all, it actually looks really good color-wise because my panel supports 10-bit color. The screen is obviously brighter, but I'd sit a decent distance back, like maybe 2 or 3 feet away, so not something I'm super concerned about. But it's really nice because it gets around the problem of games implementing their own HDR, which just borks stuff out. And it just doesn't turn off. So you don't get the black screen going in and out of full screen programs, which is just a colossal nightmare because it's just always on, and it applies even to games that don't support HDR. For example, League or StarCraft, which both, like, the colors look, in my opinion, a little bit more saturated, but I think, especially when it comes like shadows and dark spots, looks way, way, way better than non-HDR. So I've found that to be pretty awesome. I have not tried to test it with a YouTube HDR thing, though. No.
What's your biggest pet peeve? 60 seconds.
My biggest pet peeve?
Issue with it, yeah.
Man, I just stream. I don't think anything I use broke. I use broke. So OBS still runs fine. I still play games in 4K 144 while broadcasting in 1080p 60. I think my game performance, actually, all the DirectX 12 stuff feels like it runs a little better. But I don't think I have any drawbacks. I don't think I'm using sensitive enough stuff. But yeah, I don't know. That's why I thought it was weird. But I'm kind of crazy. I wasn't scared for it to blow up in my face because I'm like, I need to reinstall Windows anyway. So what's the worst that could happen? Well, I still haven't reinstalled Windows, I guess. So this might be the worst thing. I don't know.
Are you the kind of person who like has a bunch of random Windows settings that you're like, this does not work, and you go into like the registry and start changing things?
Yeah, but that's why I'm scared to reinstall Windows. 'Cause I don't even remember what half of them are, and I did it like a year and a half ago.
Yeah,
maybe 2 years ago now.
That's also part of my fear.
Yeah.
It's something that I'll try. It's one of those things where it's just a matter of time. So we'll see how it goes. Would you advise people against doing it, or
no?
Not? If they just want to refresh their build, can they do it from like a refresh state? Because like you know how some people were on like Vista and it like tried to keep their programs and stuff, and you could upgrade to 10. Or like,
yeah, so you can just
7.
so for me it was just a straight up upgrade. Like I got the assistant tool that was like, your computer's compatible because my motherboard has TPM, and it just, everything was still working and set up exactly the way that it was before, except they put this new desktop thing there, and then I right clicked it and I was like, okay, center to left side, and then it just turned back into a normal taskbar. So
excellent. It's good to hear.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, from what I've been reading about other people's experiences, because I stay on top of some of the insider discussions, and I'm subscribed to like r/AMD and stuff, but it's most people that I've seen say that especially newer games do run a little bit better, a little less stuttery on 11.2.
For some people who get the message, your motherboard's not supported or doesn't have that chip in it, check your BIOS settings. It might just be a switch in BIOS to turn on, and then you could try it if you're interested in that.
Good to know.
Okay, I think we got like 3 minutes, so let's start wrapping this up.
I'm sorry if I went too long on that, by the way. I might maybe
no, it's good.
a little Windows 11.
It's good. Sorry, I'm out of it right now.
You're good.
Trying to install everything.
So here's Sal's Twitter. We're going to give him a quick plug. He's going to be streaming Gates of Pyre with, let's see, Artosis, Neuro, and who's the fourth?
5?
Apop, me,
sorry.
Neuro, Artosis.
Okay. Excellent. Go check his stream out at twitch.tv, Puppetry Zelda. If you're watching this live, you can go do that. Nathan, give us a plug. What you got? Tell us about what's going on with you.
I'm just gaming, man. I made it to my plat promos in League. I'm so close. Nice. I could taste it. I lost 2 to 3. It just means, you know, I'm almost there. I just got to tune up a couple of things, and I'm going to get there. That's been exciting. Otherwise, I'm casting the Splitgate Pro Series. Check us out Sunday, 4 o'clock Pacific time.
Awesome. Great job in Sweden, by the way, as well.
Thank you.
Let's see. Ravi.
Yeah.
Give us what you doing these days.
What am I doing these days? I am not doing a whole lot. You mostly will just see me shitposting, trying to get Sal to both quit but also stay streaming StarCraft. I think I told Nate about this project, but I have a project. This is like the preview I can give. This is a headband that reads brainwaves. So this is my latest coding project. I think I told Nate about this at one point. Working on that. We'll see if I ever get it.
Questions on this. Okay.
Yeah. Imagine what my psychotic brain can do with that.
Electrocuting people via Twitch chat alerts and stuff. I'm scared about this, actually. I don't know where she's going to take this one.
Yeah.
Let's see. As for myself, it's going to be a very busy week. I'll try to have this one upload pretty quickly. At some point in the near future, you can look out for this. Frost Giant had a little event where Kevin Monk had a couple people, friends of the community, over, and some Frost Giant team members. And we did a Hot Ones challenge, and this is the image that was posted as an advertisement for it, where I look, it was painful. Let's put it that way. So that'll be a video out at some point. Check it out on their YouTube channel. We updated our Twitter handle because it was backwards, and I can't find anything else that works well enough. So our new Twitter is @theAEPod, because all the other stuff is taken, and some people are just sitting on shit. So I don't know. That's about it. Follow the YouTube and Patreon, all that stuff. Anything else, you guys?
No, not for me.
Everyone, play along and go buy an XLR to Ethernet converter.
Don't
find out next
Thank
week.
you for watching, though.
Come back and we'll compare notes and see how your experience went, because I don't know.
Crowd participation.
Exactly. I appreciate you two joining us. It's been a really fun
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Yeah, this was
Love to have
fun.
you back
Thanks
at
for
some
having
point.
us.
Cheers, yo.